School-raiding bandits on Friday attacked government secondary school Unguwa, Saki in Kaduna State and took away packaged question papers which were mistaken for a bag of money. It was gathered that senior secondary school students of the school were about to write their National Examination Council (NECO) paper when the government stormed the premises and ordered the NECO supervisor to surrender the examination papers. The supervisor's explanations that it was question papers meant for final year students who were writing NECO fell on deaf ears as the attackers grabbed the packaged papers. They snatched the wrapped examinations papers and answer sheets and left. Abdullah Muhammad, one of the students, said. The principal of the school, Ajiya Bilikisu Aliyu, explained that the government trailed the NECO supervisor from a commercial bank along Akali Road where she had gone to collect the exam questions and answer sheets. Thinking it was money, they demanded she hands over the bulk of the wrapped papers to them and threatened to shoot her. They were told it was not money, but they would not listen. They snatched the papers and disappeared into thin air, she said. Meanwhile, some of the parents were agitated as they called for government intervention. One of them, Sanusi Umar, whose child was among those writing the senior exams, said what we heard initially was bandits had come to kidnap our students, so hundreds of parents stormed the school. However, on getting to the school, we were told it was armed robbers that came to take away the wrapped examination papers, thinking it was money. One says, I want to call on the government and security agencies to beef up security in schools since these criminals are now targeting our schools. It was gathered that the school and NECO staff had to mobilize exam papers from other centers to enable the students to write the affected papers under strict security surveillance. Government had on Monday, July 7th, stormed Bethel Baptist Church and kidnapped 121 students. The Kaduna State government in the penultimate week closed down some schools that are prone to security threats. Kaduna is known as a nerve center for security threats, despite having all the military, whatever there, and they are still operating like that. But well, since the bandits or whatever you call them, they saw the supervisor coming from the bank and they didn't know, because all they wanted was money. They should even be lucky that they didn't even go with any of the students or even with the supervisors or the schools or the teachers in the schools. It would have been a different thing, that they just went away. Even if it were to be money, at least that would it's still better off. That is to tell you that we are in a failed system. The system has already failed. And when I heard some of the people calling on government to do what the government is not going to do, it's like this is how we are going to be rolling. This is how we are going to be rolling. Because of illiteracy too, they just felt that since the supervisor came out of the bank, so they just believe that it was money, and forgetting that that is where they always keep all the examination papers. And something that just got me again is that a lot of parents stormed the school thinking that bandits had come again. For how long are we going to continue like that? For how long are we going to continue like that? When children will go to school, the parents will be afraid that anything could happen. Even those students, at times I still give it to the parents or the people who are staying in all those northern area, all those areas that are prone to all these security challenges. Because how do they sleep? How do they cope? How do they cope? Even with, despite all of this, they are still sending their children to school. When you begin to advise people to say, oh, why should people be living in that kind of environment? You begin to wonder, where do they want to go? That means everybody will just be out of the whole place because of bandits. Because the government has failed to do what it ought to do. Children will go to school, you'll not be wondering. You don't know what will happen. You just be like, anything can happen. Before you know, they will storm the school. And it keeps happening. And this is the area that they don't even protest. Some of them will tell you that to protest is haram. It's an abomination. Take your children to school, You don't know whether they are going to come back or not. It's not even only school. Nowhere is even safe. They go to churches, they go to mosques, they go to... We are traveling. It's the same thing. No rest of mind. We just thank God that it was just only examination question papers that they took. What could have happened if they had gone with the people? What could have happened if they had gone with the people? So the whole thing is just somehow. The government has failed in all ramifications. In all ramifications, the government has failed. Everybody just living the life like that. Living the life like that, or living the life like that. People ask now, so go the day. The bandits are just having that free movement, free in that operation. But see, they would, oh God. That's why so you see some people, they will just begin to pray. Why would they not pray? Why would they not pray when things that we ought to have done ordinarily, that we are not supposed to be depending on God? We are not supposed to be not depending on God, so that it won't be as if we have power to do everything. Not disturbing God, because God has given us everything. Just giving somebody an open check. Do whatever you want to do. You are still coming back to say what? When you have been given that free hand. The government will leave the problems that we are faced with. Lives are being lost on a daily basis, but they are looking for going after those who are going to be challenging their authority. To the extent these bandits have the effrontery to be going to school. They are still going to school. Even by now, they ought to have stopped the activities of these bandits. But see what they did in Southeast, telling us that they have been able to crush Eastern Security Network. They have been able to do this and that. They have been able to do that. Oh, they have been able to crush the activities of unknown gunmen. Why is it that the same thing is not being done when it comes to bandits in the north? Because by this time around, the security agents should have been able to clamp them down to the barest minimum. But they are still having their time. It was 4-6 months ago when Buhari told them that he gave them 2 months to surrender. He even gave them to surrender, but the other people will not give them time to surrender. But up till now, has anything changed? Nothing. Everything still remains the same.